Mayday in the Making, episodes 4, 5, and 6. As well as we're going to take a look at Ollie's new gear rundown. So let's get going. Hey there. We're going to finish up what we started last night. And we're going to begin with Ollie's new gear rundown. This is from Digital Tour Bus. And it was released just roughly 2 weeks ago. So let's take a look at it and see what we can see.
Hi, my name is Alejandra Villarreal and I am the bass player of the band The Warning. Our new single, More, just came out, so go check it out. And I am going to be talking about my bass today. This is my bass. This is a custom USA bass. It's an NS5 XL. I am a Spectre artist. I designed this bass with them. Everything from the wood and the material, the color, everything, every step. We did it together to the inlays, which is this is our logo. So everything we did together, and I really love it. We did special wood in the back. I think it's redwood to make the bass lighter because most of their basses are extremely heavy, and so I just wanted to make it a bit lighter, but it's still great wood for the sound of the bass, and I feel like it's just perfect for everything we do with the band. So yes, I love it. I started using a 5-string bass like maybe 3 years ago now, 4 years, and I quite love it. A fan actually gifted me a Spectre bass, a 4-string Spectre bass, like 5 years ago maybe, and since then I've loved Spectre, and I'm really proud to now own a custom bass. You can actually get this design, which is called Alice Inferno, in the Spectre website, and we just released a signature model, which is my model. It's a 4-string bass, and it was inspired by this original bass that we designed with Spectre. So yeah, and it also has my signature in the back, which is awesome. I love it. And the last thing that we just added to this bass are lights. And so it looks really cool, but it's also really helpful for when we play live and the lights are all over the place. It's just so I can go back and I know where I'm playing. So these pickups are EMGX pickups. I have, 2 normal knobs and a stack, I think, knob, that's how they're called. And this is regular volume. This is the blend for the pickups. This side is mostly this pickup. I use it in the middle. And these are the bass EQ. These are the high ends. I use it almost all the way up, not all the way up though. I use it in standard tuning, so it's B, E, A, D, G. Standard tuning all the way. The strings, I use the Dario strings. I use the NYXL 45 to 130, and I love them. They sound pretty good. They last a really long time, and they're not too bright, they're not too flat, I guess. But yeah, I love these strings. I don't have to change them out as often. This is my pedal board. I don't use that many pedals, but this is a preamp. I love this preamp so much. I actually used it. It was one of the first pedals I ever got. And then I stopped using it, and then I was like, I miss this pedal, and it's such a good preamp. Really, this is how I control most of the sound that goes out when we play live. I really like the bass to really cut through. Since we're a trio, we feel like the bass is really important, so we really want to have a bottom end, but this also really helps us define well what I'm playing, because sometimes you really can't hear what the bass is playing, you can only feel it. I mostly only use the Engage. I don't use the AGS, but this is the gain volume. It's not the volume of the gain. And I really just use it up half, treble, half. Everything is mostly in the half position. Bass, not too much, not too little. Mid frequencies, mid levels, they're all just halfway there. With a mix of this and my bass, it's really easy to be able to, to be able to hear what I'm playing correctly without losing that bottom end. So I feel like that's really important to me, and this really helps me do that. As well as this other pedal, which is the dark glass microtubes. I love this bass overdrive. It's so good. I've also tried a lot of overdrives over the past few years, and this one is really cool because it's really easy to blend the overdrive, like the distortion sound, as much as you can or as little as you want it to. So it's not really overpowering, and you can still hear what I'm playing. Like, as I said, like, you can hear the bass lines without becoming just like this mess of like distortion. This is the overdrive. I usually leave it all the way up, and I mix as much of it as I want. And here, this is the blend between your normal bass sound and the distortion. I usually keep it almost halfway there, as everything. So yeah, here you just blend it as much as you want, and it's really nice because you can still hear the original sound of the bass just with a bit of distortion on it. So it's amazing. I quite love it. This is my lovely tuner. You can't have a pedal board without a tuner. It's really important to me, and it also serves as a mute button because it's just muted. And it's really nice as well because even while I'm playing, I can see the tuner move around. So if I'm ever like mid-song and I have no idea if I'm tuned well, I can play a note and it'll tell me if I'm tuned or not. So yeah, it's just my tuner. This is the switch between my wireless, so I can use it. Normally this is for the wireless, and the wireless is at the bottom, so it's packed in here. So yeah, this is just to activate and deactivate the wireless pack. So yeah, this is what I use for live shows. I don't have this actually at home, but this is what we use for live shows. This is an Ampic cab. This is an 8x10, and it's just that classic Ampic sound, which I love. And this is a Mesa amp. It is mic'd and all, but we mostly use this for on stage and for like the people in front, so you can really feel the bass. I love this. It's honestly such a help when we're on stage, because sometimes you can't really feel the energy that the crowd feels. Like you can't feel it on stage, and the amps like really help us to feel the bass. So mostly I just love it to have like a lot of bottom end, so I can feel and listen my bass on the outside as well. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out our new music and go to thewarningbank.com for any other information you want to know about us. And yeah, thank you.
Okay, Ale laid it out for us from start to finish, front to back, bumper to bumper. As you can imagine, there's not a lot necessary. I guess that may depend on the bass player to an extent, but most bass players face the same issues, especially in power trios, because they're, standalone instrument. So, and when I say standalone, I mean there's no other instrument in the power trio like them, and I'll just keep digging this hole here. I guess what I'm trying to say is that when she was alluding to the inability to hear the bass, and you tend to feel it rather than hear it, the idea that she amps up on stage is a must-have in a power trio, because, like she said, you need to feel the energy, and already a power trio has got a lot of empty space that they have to fill, and we talked about this already where Danny's concerned. You heard her in her rig rundown where she kept saying, and I use this to make the sound bigger, or it's got to be greater, or it's got to be, more presence to it. So that's a constant concern, and one that power trios pay attention to probably more than most bands that have more instruments and can fill up the air much easier. So, in fact, bands that are bigger have a tendency to get too noisy sometimes, right? So that was cool. It was cool to see. I have not seen a lot of that equipment because I have been out of the business for so long. But I understand, I'm talking about the brand that she was using. I obviously everybody, especially guitarists, know Mesa Boogie because they are, Mesa, because they make the best guitar amps in the world, probably. Although I tend to run with Crate, and then the pedal board is a standard setup. The wireless is something we never used, obviously. But outside of that, it's all pretty straightforward. So let's move on and take a look at Mayday in the Making, episode 4. And here we go.
Technology played a huge part in our band. We became known because of a YouTube video.
Social media is such a big part for us as a band, and without social media, we wouldn't have reached all those people who listen to our music right now.
I honestly don't know how they do what they do, but I know that the numbers don't lie.
When it comes to going viral at the age that they did, they've had a head start building this social media and online presence that people would pay millions to obtain.
That's an amazing thing to see. I mean, to have this type of fan dedication and loyalty this early is, it's really impressive. And it speaks to the fact that their music really touches people.
When you start out in music, the first thing that you think about is not really like, how am I going to manage my social media? It's the last thing that you're thinking of.
When I first met them, they had already gone viral because they were uploading videos of them doing covers and practicing music so that their grandparents could see it.
When the attention came in, it was like pretty shocking.
What we did as a team was land it with a proper strategy and a vision. We all talk about what we're doing in social media every day.
It is like a lot to do, but honestly, like, it helps us a lot.
Thank you, patrons. Shout out to all of you. You are awesome.
This community and friendships have been, forged all over the world.
We're always thinking of new ways to create new content for them.
And even if it just was like one person, it means something to them. That's an incredible feeling.
I think that they just feel like more responsibility to their audience, to their fans. They're constantly evolving and working more for them.
It can kind of be intimidating as our fan base grows. It's very hard not to think about what other people might think.
To think like, I kind of need to be perfect. I mean, being a woman in rock is a whole thing.
We have gone through a lot of different experiences, mostly on stage, where we would get these looks like, what are these little girls gonna do?
Like, our treatment was sometimes very, very different. Like, the staff would treat you different, the bands would treat you different. I remember going at festivals when I was like 11. People would look at us like, oh, what are they gonna do here? Suddenly we started playing and everyone was just like shocked by what we did, and I was like, yeah, people really don't expect a lot out of you because they're not used to seeing women on these stages.
It is very nerve-wracking to go out in front of everyone and be that vulnerable. You see, like, this is me, this is what I do. Do you like it?
It's not easy for them being young, being female in a rock genre, and I think they're gonna bring change to that.
The most important thing in what we do is to just stay true to ourselves.
I'm really proud that this is a group of girls. I think there's so much talented female musicians out there, but historically they've been underrepresented in rock and roll. I don't really know what the reason is, but if I can be a part of helping to bring that energy to the forefront, then that's what I want to do.
In such a male-dominated field, to see not only 3 women but 3 sisters playing rock music, it was awesome. Also, being a father of 2 daughters, it was inspiring to see that too. It's something I wanted them to see.
We step up our game just to prove we belong here.
Rock and roll and music in general is for everyone to enjoy.
It doesn't matter who's playing the music. If you like it and if it's good and if you think it's good, that's what matters.
They are the future of rock and roll.
Playing rock and roll, like, there's no energy equal to that.
To see like all these people that are from all around the world, some of them are older, some of them are younger, how they all just connect like through the power of music.
And it's so fun to see people having fun with you. It's just like a big party.
When young girls reach out to us, it's the most
satisfying feeling ever. You can feel it when people tell you what your music means to them. It's such an indescribable feeling.
Like when someone comes up to you in the meet and greet and they're like, I started playing the drums because of you. Oh my God, like you feel like crying. It shows that anyone can do what we're doing.
It's easy for people to blow up on the internet and kind of not act like it's a thing, but these girls, they dedicate time every day to trying to make sure that someone in their fan group or their whole fan group has an experience.
There's so many people that follow us and listen to our music. If I am just able to keep doing what I'm doing right now and keep touching like people's hearts this way, I'm happy.
I really, really love what I do, and I'm very grateful that all of you have given me the chance to prove it and to be it and to share it with you.
We had never really worked with people outside of like our trusted group.
My first actual personal interaction was when I met them. They were playing 2 sold-out nights at Mercury Lounge, and I came the first night and checked it out and was so blown away. I came back the second night with Jason Flom.
Devin O'Connor, our senior A&R person at Lava, she invited me to go to a show at the Mercury Lounge. And I think it was a cold winter's night. And I've been to the Mercury Lounge too many times in my life, but I went and my head exploded.
Going from being an independent band to a signed band is a very big change.
Because we have been independent since we started and we had been doing really well.
For years, we've always kind of seen where the band is going independently. We started seeing this growth, and we would ask ourselves, it's like, how far can we take it ourselves? And then when is it time to start searching for partners?
We just didn't want to sign with someone who would take control over our music. When Lava approached, it was just like an amazing opportunity for us.
The Warning had great touring numbers, great Spotify numbers, great social media interaction. Their fans are diehard. But first and foremost, the most important part is the music, and the music blew me away.
At Lava, we like to sign great artists. It's really a simple criteria.
When we were approached by Lava, we dove in and definitely found very clear pattern. It was the same sound and look before Jason got him than after.
When they actually reached out to us, we couldn't believe it. And me being an amazing, like a big Paramore fan, I was just like, wow, Jason Blum just got, oh wow.
But when we started talking with Lava, we clicked. We were on the same page. I knew that this was the step that we had to take, that we would be able to be on another level now.
It took a long time.
We were negotiating for 7 months.
But we finally did it.
Signing with Lava was like a game changer for us.
Complete game changer.
When we signed, it was it was just such a big relief.
And now, with the whole Lava team behind us, I feel super powerful.
Honestly, I am so grateful.
We're this super strong team.
Being the first rock band in Latin American history to sign with a US major record label definitely has to be my proudest moment, and every grain of sand that I contributed to that is something that I'll cherish forever. That's one for the books.
Ever since we signed, we've gotten like so many opportunities. Like we got to record our 3rd album during a pandemic.
With the power of a record label, we can make songs for different artists. We can get our songs in movies or anything. Like the possibilities are endless. Our earliest goals for the band, like we're gonna learn this song and we're gonna rock it, we're gonna be on time. I mean, those are still goals. But as we grew like up until now, our goals have changed drastically.
I would just really love to play all over the world and like have my music reach out to like as many people as possible.
And we would love to, go on a world tour, get our music everywhere, and just kind of like share that love for music that we have wherever we can.
I can envision a stadium full of fans rocking out to The Warning. If we were able to help make that happen, it would be, it would just be magical.
Future hope for the band is world domination.
Yeah, we want to tour the world. We want to melt faces, rock out on stage. We want to break stereotypes and show the world that dreams do come true.
My goal for them is that they become the biggest band in the world. It sounds crazy, but it's actually possible. It's going to take a ton of hard work, and it's also going to take some lucky breaks. At the end of the day, I think that is within the realm of possibility. There's no reason that they can't do that.
Our favorite place we traveled as a band, I think we have each one different in mind. Okay, let's just say it at the same time and see if it matches up.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Argentina!
Ah! We got
Argentina was
awesome. It was such a great tour.
It was our first time having like such a long tour. 2 weeks.
It was like 2 weeks.
It was a 2-week tour with
it was our first time there.
and it was amazing.
was
Honestly,
absolutely
I am
amazing.
dying to go back to Argentina. The energy the
so
Argentina like public has, wow.
We
Awesome.
miss you guys. COVID.
Once we signed with Lava, we didn't want to lose any time.
The band was about to go on a tour, and then COVID hit, so everything that they were working on got canceled. And so they shifted the target immediately to, okay, we're going to make the record now.
And David Bendeth was a name that crossed between options that they brought to the table and options that we had seen. Really quickly, it became, okay, let's get him on a Zoom.
We had a Zoom call with him. Like there was just like a connection. We shared the same vision.
We were actually very, very excited, very nervous as well, because we knew it was going to be like tough.
Teenagers are different than any other band. You know, they're very pliable.
We were really nervous. Looking back on that call, David was also nervous. Like we see it, and I was like, "Why were you nervous?" Like we were shaking. You are David Bendeth.
Making an album in the middle of a global pandemic was a very unique experience.
We started lockdown on March. We had not left our house until September. We were really respectful of like the safety of it all.
Obviously, it was COVID, and the first thoughts across my mind were, how is this going to work? But what we did was we were in the bubble.
We decided after a lot of conversations about it that we were going to record it in New Jersey.
We did COVID testing, we traveled with seat covers and masks and face shields and gloves, antibacterial and sprays and wipes. Nobody on our team got COVID. We were all very careful and very professional. And I think, that just makes this album that much more special.
We were just in a little bubble all the time.
I think it kept us really in the zone.
It was definitely scary starting at first, because of course the questions come up of maybe if we wait another month, things will be safer. But it ultimately came down to the fact that the music was ready and it feels urgent, it feels relevant. We want to put this music out.
Working with David and Rick was a very new experience for us. Actually never worked like this much with people who only talk in English.
Their English is amazing. My Spanish is absolutely awful. The one time that I brought up a mispronunciation, I can't remember if it was Danny or Pau, one of them said something and I jumped on it. And you just hear Allie from the back, your Spanish sucks. You gotta watch out. You don't know who's waiting in the wings to get you.
This third album, I am so proud of what we did with it.
It came out very generational, very social. More than anything, I think we want to call out people to think.
It's about Gen Z, it's about technology, it's about communication. The new album is the world from the Warning's perspective.
Since we evolved as people, we changed, our views of the world changed, we grew up. I think our writing and our music changed and grew as well.
In this instance, you could tell that each one of them had spent time honing their craft and practicing. I saw a crack in the door where I could push them and I could open a world to them where they could be less rigid. Even though it's tough and they don't like it, they're built to withstand it. And so you could push them. And so I did.
It was great to see how our different opinions meshed and became this great album.
We really stepped out of our little box of songwriting.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, there was moments when it was extremely tense.
It was sometimes like, David, that's not how it is right now. And David was like, well, this is how it should be. And we're like, ah! We had a lot of conversations about how to meet a healthy middle.
I guess the best way to say it's how you come back from that determines how much you've grown.
Working with them was incredible, and we all got to learn so much from the process. I feel super confident about the next steps I'm taking as a musician because I got to learn from the pros.
all the work with David Bandit, it was a blessing. It was amazing.
Everybody missed them. We were with them for like so long. It was an amazing experience.
I hope that this record goes platinum and we all have plaques on our walls. As far as for the band, I wish them all the success in the world.
We know that we have much to learn every single day. There's always something more.
My dreams and goals for them is for them to grow as players, to keep writing songs. But my biggest goal for them would be to stay in touch with who they are and never lose that.
Our love for what we do is so real and it's so big. Like, why have we worked so hard for so long to just stop here?
Satanir, día exitoso.
Yay! Un día exitoso!
Well, there we have it. That was a 6-episode documentary. It was a little bit light on the standpoint I come from when I am reviewing bands or music or songs. Obviously, I'm more interested in the performance aspect, and some of the songwriting construction. And not a lot of that was covered here, but it's good to have the umbrella of information that helps to inform your opinion when you're trying to understand why they make a songwriting decision or a performance decision. And the biggest one that stood out to me was the COVID pandemic and how it affected the way they approached what they did. So they shifted gears from this tour to making the album. That had to be mentally a leap. And then I'm sure that sort of dominated, maybe not dominated, but was always in the back of their mind, affecting daily their thoughts on how to look at the world. And of course, if they're writing at that point, it's going to creep in there on some level. Maybe not a lot in some songs, maybe a lot in others, but ultimately it will affect it. So it's good to hear that and to meet some of the people that surround them and hear their thoughts, and again, this was a pretty light touch because it's not like there were any real deep discussions about production or tour logistics or things like that, but I'm sure we're going to see more and more of that as time goes by. I just want to throw it out. It's the perfect way to begin for me to understand this band because I like working first this is nice to work first at the personality level, the interaction between the sisters and then the people that surround them. We saw their mom and dad a couple of times, but not much. But like you said, they tend to stay in the background, I guess. So I'm sure I'll see more and more of them as time goes by. And I'll see more of you the next time I put out another warning video. As always, I appreciate you being here. It means the world to me. And I hope you have a really excellent rest of the week. And I will talk to you soon. Bye now.